Welcome to Tennis Sucks, a pickleball podcast hosted by Travis Rettenmeyer and Graham D'Amico. This week, we take a look back at Graham's professional debut at the Tournament of Champions, including what turns out to be a not-so-glamorous venue. Travis and Graham then go on to react to the stellar performance of Catherine Parento and Tyson McGuffin, as well as revisiting the very controversial topic of the secret Pro Dura Fast 40. Plus, listen to the end for a chance to win one of our tie-dye Florida Smash hats. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Tennis Sucks, here with Travis and Luke. And huge shout out to our sponsor, Sunday Swagger.
We were undoubtedly the, not just by us, but Anna Bright even stated the best looking, best dressed team pretty much in pickleball history this past weekend.
Actually, the statement she made on Twitter was, Travis would have been the best dressed if Graham wasn't playing in this event.
You know what it was? Is a lot of people were very impressed with the RoboCop style Raya glasses I had. I got a lot of, I think they don't look very good on me, but other people seem to think that retro style's going good with, the Peso Pluma haircut and all that shit. So between Sunday Swagger and Raya Eyewear, D'Amico Rettenmeyer is a fearsome fashion tandem. As far as the pickleball, a little sus, but the fashion was on point.
On that note, I don't think I can play any more events with you.
Darn it.
My DUPR went down.
Did it really? How's that possible?
Went down 0.1.
What do you mean? We beat Gabrielson with Lanier. How's that possible? What did mine do?
Barely. It went down a hundredth of a point. Nothing.
That doesn't make any sense.
So apparently...
Why do I feel like you're going to cry about this? It looks like you're going to cry.
I'm just saying is...
You look like really devastated.
I worked my ass off and
Did
basically
really?
was carrying you, and then my DUPR goes down.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. We beat... I just want to put it out there. Graham is probably the most inflated 5'2" you've ever seen. And we beat fucking Spencer Lanier, who made a finals of an APP this year, and Wes Gabrielson, one of the original GOATs of the game, 15-9.
How was I playing in
You
that
hit
match?
9 balls in that match, and you were awesome on those 9 balls.
Come on.
That was our best match.
My DUPR went down, Luke.
How is
That's
that
all I'm going to
fucking
say.
possible?
So no more tournaments. I'm sorry. If you need me, you're going to have to find somebody else that obviously doesn't care about their DUPR.
That actually really upsets me. I thought you were going to
Upsets you?
I thought you were going to a 5-5 at least.
Yeah. 5-1-4, guys. I'm lucky I'm still a 5-0 after that event.
Holy shit. So you beat 2 guys that are basically 6-0s and you go down?
Yeah.
Man, they must really think you suck.
So let's talk about the pro debut.
Okay.
I had fun.
Yeah.
I
had a
could
great
tell
time.
you weren't having the most fun you've ever had.
No, I had a good time. That's not true. It's just it's frustrating because I'm working my ass off. I want to win really badly for you and for myself, but primarily for you. And there were certain points where I'm going side to side and busting my ass and creating an option, and then the ball's out. Fucking God damn it, Graham, you hit it.
That happened a couple times.
Yeah. So no, I had a great time, but I was putting pressure on myself. I was working hard. It was really hot, covering a lot of court, and it's challenging. But the only disappointment that I had was that I played so poorly in the first match, that we didn't play well in particular in the first match, because I thought we had a real opportunity there. And I sucked. I did not play well. I actually felt nervous. And
Well, I think we had a lack of warm-up, too. Don't you feel that way? Or
no question. We couldn't get
There's
a court.
no warm-up courts. How do you do that as a pro?
It sucks. That's why these PPA events it's dog shit.
You're just okay, you're up, go
Exactly.
play. Awesome.
The fact that they don't have courts that are designated where you can segment off even 15 minutes. Hey, we are warming up as these two for 15 minutes. It blows my mind.
So yeah, the first game was tight, both mentally and physically. Physically tight. You're just you're loosening up.
We were actually up 2-0, and Graham was at the baseline. Kaka had an overhead. Once again, I ran a ball down, full speed stretch, and the guy fucking hits an overhead going 8 feet long. He's going to hit the back fence on the fly. Graham plays it as I'm screaming out, and then he looks over and he goes, nice reset, though. He did get the ball back.
It was a great reset.
It was a great fucking reset.
I mean, how hard of a reset is it from behind the baseline with the ball that's going to the
Impossible.
fence and you put it in the kitchen?
But then we lost
Those are
11-2.
good
I think
hands.
we lost 11 points in a row
great.
from there.
Yeah, we did. But we should have had the next game.
Yeah, we lost 14-12. I had a great time, Graham. I was very grateful that you came and, bared all of Utah with me, because it was a lot to bear. And I needed a buddy there to help just, deal with that.
Yeah, I've decided even if I were good at pickleball, I wouldn't want to be a pickleball pro. It does not feel like a fun lifestyle.
It's not awesome, no.
the plane ride, the red eyes, the town we were in was horrid. The food was not good. The venue wasn't great. It was hot as could be.
Well, this is the problem right now is like the PPA is basically taking whatever venues they can get. And so the events aren't awesome. There are some really great events, but it's not the MLP, right? The MLP has great events in great locations, really high quality, courts to practice on. It feels like you're at a professional event. The PPA events still feel like you're an amateur and struggling.
Yeah.
So that needs to improve. And as the sport progresses, I'm sure it will. But for now, they're talking about adding more tournaments and man, like TOC, you can't have a professional event at a location like that. All credit to the fans. Like, they showed out and they were screaming and they were hollering and they love pickleball and that's awesome. But as a player to go to that venue, it was awful.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's a hard way to make a living. That's the feeling I got when I left, especially after I saw the first hotel that Travis booked for us.
Yep.
It was a 2-star Howard Johnson, 1 bed. I can't even describe it. Let's just say I didn't even want to sit down when I walked in. So I immediately booked another hotel. But yeah, spent a lot of money. Hot. Not a lot of, frills.
No food.
No food. It was tough.
Yeah, it's a grind. It's hard. Come home, sometimes you're fucking tired. It takes a minute.
I was exhausted, and then the thought of like Travis getting back on a plane in a day, back to Kansas City and doing the routine over again, I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah.
You set out with the option for people to come get some free balls, Graham, to mark your pro debut. Tell us about that. How did the fans react to your?
Graham was a fucking celebrity, man. Like, from the moment we got there, first I wake up in the morning and Graham goes out to get breakfast about 5 minutes before me. I come out, he's speaking to 2 people, and he's telling them about how he's not playing mixed that week because Anna Lee isn't available. And they actually believed him. And then the husband said like, yeah, you should take a picture with this pro. And she was like, oh, no, I'm not made up. I'm not dressed. I can't take a picture with this fucking celebrity here.
She wasn't looking good enough. She wanted to get it later in the day.
And then we get in the car, and this I'll never forget for as long as I live. About 10 minutes down the road, because we're going to go check out a location, and all of a sudden I hear, I can be your hero, baby. And Graham's just slowly singing Enrique Iglesias about himself as the hero. And subconscious totally believes that he's the hero.
I was getting myself mentally prepared for the day.
And then, yes, people were coming up and asking for autographs. At the check-in desk, a few people asked for Graham's picture.
A couple of times, Travis was asked to take a picture of me with fans.
That was my favorite story of the weekend from you,
on
Graham,
numerous occasions.
But people love the ball thing. They definitely came up and said, hey, are you Graham? Yeah, or to Travis, do you know where Graham is? And do I get a ball? And I was like, yeah, of course.
How many balls do you want?
Do you want me to put a signature on it? And I thought they'd say no. Like, I was like, I get it. You can just use the ball. And they were like, no. We definitely want the signature.
They wanted it.
Yeah, so I had a dozen or so autographs throughout the weekend.
That could be on someone's mantle now, Graham. And, they're waiting for you to really make it in the pro. Now it'll be the first autograph ball that you did.
I don't think it can go down in value, so it's a good investment, right?
Not like a DUPR.
Not like my DUPR did at Utah. Yeah. Right? It's only going to go up. It can only go up.
I'm still amazed by that. Your fucking DUPR went down.
Trust me.
Worked my ass off.
I just found out this morning. Brutal.
Worked my fucking ass off.
That's wild. So your DMs are closed for other partners, you think, for other pro tournaments, Graham?
I have this want, I think, to maybe do like one a year.
Yeah, but we got to select the location a little better.
Yeah, so like if Travis is having it or he drops a partner, just wants to have fun for a weekend, I wouldn't mind doing that once a year.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Good content. Hopefully I'll play a little better. Maybe we get a fun win or play a fun team. But no, that is not something I'm looking forward to.
But Brigham will not be on that schedule.
No.
Like zero chance. It would have to be like a San Clemente or something like that.
Yeah,
a nice venue where we can actually enjoy ourselves, because this was not fun. Like it was fun to play with Graham, but you're talking like we went to an Indian restaurant that was rated really high. They had like minute rice, as the rice. It's not basmati. I'm not trying to be bougie or anything. I'm just saying it's the highest rated restaurant where we were.
Yeah.
And they were it was microwavable food.
It was bad.
It was like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
And then at the venue they had one food truck. The food that was provided to the players was dog shit. it was just like, man, get me the fuck out of here, you know. And then the flights are tough from the. It was just it wasn't great.
Yeah. All right, we don't got to keep
Sorry,
crapping on a
keep
whole
going.
state, but
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm not crapping.
we
on
had a great time despite all of the,
the difficulties.
the difficulties of the TOC.
All right. Well, let's you wrote down here some updates about Pro XR. I think you want to go switch to that.
So Travis warned me, told me to bring more than one paddle. I only had one because I haven't played a real paddle in 6 months, and I forgot to go get tested. Zane reminded me 10 minutes before our match.
He was saying it's a joke.
Oh, he was?
Yes.
Well, I thought he was
No one gave a shit if you got your paddle tested.
I panicked, so I ran to go at the testing tent. And after like 3 measurements,
Graham's face lit up like it's not going to pass.
it started coming in real high, like really high, the grit testing. And he said to me, you better start looking for another paddle. And I said to the guy, I don't have another paddle. I just, came here. It's kind of a joke. I'm not really a pro. I don't think anyone's going to care if my paddle's a little too gritty. And he's like, all right, we'll just go start looking for another paddle. So I run out because Zane was like, if you need a paddle, let me know. I run out to find Zane. He's on center court playing his match. So I'm like panicking, like, I hope there's a timeout soon. I need another paddle. And I run back in the tent, and the guy all of a sudden is just like, I don't know if I'm supposed to disclose this, but I'm going to. He starts saying, like, the numbers start coming in super low on the back end, like 19, 23, blah, blah, blah. He's like, you barely passed.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, thanks, man. I think he just, because I said I'm a 5-0, which I am, and I'm not really playing to win anything, no one's going to care. He was just like, who cares?
This paddle's not going to make a difference for this guy.
Literally, and handed me the paddle.
And I want to clarify, like, I posted something about Pro XR paddle not passing. If you're a paddle company and you're not pushing that boundary of being on the edge of what's legal and not legal, then that's kind of stupid. And so I commend Pro XR for making these paddles that guys are having incredible results with and great grit with. And if I'm playing any paddle and let's say they come in, you're basically allowed to go to 40 on the grit scale. If they're coming back at like 28, I'm going to go to that company and be like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Let's get up to 45. Let's go to 41. Let's get right in that range.
Well, these were at 55,
right,
53,
if
54.
half of them come back and they're not legal, I'll send those half back to you. But I want the ones that are right on the edge of what's legal until those rules are changed to give me the biggest advantage possible. So I'm not saying anything bad about Pro XR, nor was I trying to say anything. I think what they're doing is fucking awesome and commend them for it.
But I love the paddle. It's soft. I would say it's a soft paddle with a ton of grit. So the workability of the paddle, I call it like a magic wand. You can hit shots you normally can't hit. But for a pro, I don't know how great it is because you're not going to generate a ton of
I think
put away power.
Pros can generate enough power.
Okay.
You just don't have the racket
You got to
speed.
swing really hard.
Yeah, like you had some finishes weekend where you were like, and the ball was just like,
yeah, you've got to go after it.
Okay.
You
gotta hit
can't,
the shit out of it.
you can't like hit like a block or you've got to swing.
Yeah, no,
and I'm not like a swinging volley kind of guy. No. It's not my game. Although if I had that paddle, I'd probably start to become more of a swinging volley guy. But it was soft, which is what I wanted. I wanted to just get the ball where it wasn't attackable as much as possible, and it did that. It was perfect for it.
Good. That's awesome. But then you had another paddle broke this weekend, is that right?
Yeah, I basically slapped a paddle on my thigh and it cracked right at the throat. So I had to use an older one.
On CBS Sports.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, it wasn't? It wasn't
wasn't.
the center court match?
It was the match prior. It was the match against Braverman and
your first match.
DJ. Yeah, I just, I tend to hit the shit out of my paddles on my leg. And I hit it really hard and it just, boom, popped right at the throat. So I had to use the old one. But it didn't affect much. It definitely was a little softer and didn't have quite the same pop as the new one. But, that's happening with a lot of paddle these days. I think only the thermoform paddles don't have that happen when you
break
pop
at the
it.
handle,
You break at the handle, yeah. Most paddles will break at the handle.
Wow. It's impressive.
Got a lot of force in this forearm.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to get that forearm tested. Yeah.
Please don't.
Other news that came out of that weekend, Catherine Parento's back, crushed it.
I mean, she's been back. Oh, yeah, back from vacation.
Yeah. She took 2 months off, looked fresh as a daisy, was moving really well. Was so far and away the best player on the women's side. Without Anna Lee there, it was frightening to me. And I love Anna Bright, and Anna is probably as good as Catherine. but Catherine's a lot more versatile. I think Anna's more steady, more solid, resets better, maybe a slightly better dinker from a consistency perspective. But Catherine's ceiling is a lot higher just because she goes for a lot more shit, kind of fades this inside-out forehand, attacks more, a bit more aggressive, and she looked really good. So
she triple crowned, right?
She triple crowned,
which is amazing.
I think pretty much routed. The toughest match she had was against the Kawamotos. She played with Paris. Paris looked good, looked steady, but to me, again, Catherine was just on a different planet than every other woman there. Anna Bright played with Hurricane Tyra Black. I think Hurricane Tyra is on her way to being a superstar in the sport, whatever that means, and certainly has some things to work on. But from just like a purely raw athleticism and hands perspective, she's fucking good, and is going to only get better, and seems to have a really good temperament for the game. So I was hoping that she and Anna might post a better result, but I think they ended up going down to Callie and Elise Jones, and that's a rock solid team who was playing very, very well in their home state of Utah. And anyway, it was an interesting women's field, but man, Catherine is just fucking good.
That wasn't her first Triple Crown, was it?
No, I think it was her second one.
Second?
Yeah, and some, props have done this before to Connor Derrickson, her trainer.
Yeah.
He was there all weekend,
Never
left her side, just making sure she was in the zone, and she was.
Yeah, Connor's very professional, does a great job with her, had her, recovering well, warming up appropriately, and obviously she's on a good regimen with him, so it's working. What she's doing is working.
Yeah, I saw he had her in an ice bath, prepping between matches.
All sorts of stuff, bands. He had her perfect. Resting when she'd be resting, warming up when she's warming up, watching the match to see if there's anything he could tweak. He was all over it.
Yeah. Did you take a cold plunge after your pro match, Graham?
I didn't want to touch the bathtub at the Howard Johnson we were staying at. I did not. I poured a cold water bottle over my head.
Oh, there you go. Just as effective. All right. James Ignatowich. I always struggle with that. James Ignatowich is sick.
He wasn't sick. After the final, he and Tyson win, and James, like this very high level, intense point to end, really high drama. He just fucking goes over the sideline and yaks, like pukes on himself.
Like a heat exhaustion type of vomit almost.
And nerves. Both. Combo. He drinks a shit ton of coffee too. So he goes over the side.
Maybe he OD'd on some caffeine.
Maybe. And then he's giving the post-match interview talking about yakking. And he's like, he kind of tells him like, hey, I got to get the fuck out of here. I'm going to yak again. And they pull him off the court. And Tyson keeps talking because he probably went to puke again.
Wow.
So it was pretty comical. I don't think he had much left in the tank. And he was yakking it up after the match.
It's wild.
It was a wild weekend. I mean, we got to go to Tyson now, obviously. Let's just transfer there. I don't know what the fuck this guy's doing, man, but he is just a winning machine at the moment. A defensive maestro, moving incredible. Watching his matches in singles, he plays Colin Schick. Very intense, very high level match. Plays till fucking 10 p.m. on Saturday.
On Friday.
Sorry, on Friday.
Right.
For the semis of the mixed. Apparently was out to dinner when he found out he was going to have to come back and play the mixed. And the guy just doesn't take a ball off. He just looks like he has unlimited energy. He's worked incredibly hard. His body has altered substantially. I'm going to say he's 25 pounds, 30 pounds heavier than he was 8 to 12 months ago. And whatever he's doing with his trainer and with his health team and with his program is working. The guy's working his ass off, having incredible results, playing well, and credit to him.
It was incredible to watch. The guy just, I've never seen Tyson play so well.
Yeah.
Like coming off an injury too, right? Some kind of
elbow. I think it was elbow originally.
Oh, and foot.
Yeah, elbow and foot. But I know for the elbow, he had like a cortisone shot at one point. That was leading to St. George. And it's funny, like you can almost pinpoint it. Leading to St. George in April, like right then he just turns it on. That's when he just turned into a different player.
He looked unbeatable this weekend.
Really?
And he played nonstop, was intense nonstop, feet moving, getting to everything, hitting the shit out of the ball.
Hitting the fucking shit out of the ball.
It just was so impressive.
It feels like he's hitting the ball 15% faster than he was 6 months ago.
It was fun to watch. He was fun to watch.
Fuck, he's playing amazing.
I have to admit, he's the most fun player on the tour to watch right now, in my opinion.
Wow.
The way he routed or beat after playing all day, on Saturday. Mixed, men's doubles, then went to go play singles against
And he was
Connor,
down 9-4 the
Connor
second
Garnett.
game. And there's like one telltale point. He's down 9-4. He serves, so he's at 4-9. Runs around, hits a forehand inside out, and then sprints in case Connor floats the volley. Fucking snaps the ball off cross court, and he like pounds his chest and like looks at the crowd. It's like, bro, you're down 5-9. And the guy had no hesitation about being juiced, that he was going to come back, that he was ready. And sure enough, comes back, wins that game's 12-10. And so, you know, beyond the pure physicality of how he's playing, mentally he seems like he's certain he's going to win, and he's certain he's going to come back.
Yeah.
And he's doing it.
Yeah. His stock is really high right now, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah. One more person to maybe react to, Tina Pisnik.
Our new local hero,
Yep.
Tina Pisnik, plays out of Bradenton, about 40 minutes from here. And she's climbing the tour very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, she's obviously got an incredible skill set. I think she was top 30 WTA at one point. She's 42 years old, so she's, you know, obviously coming in a little bit late, but her skill set is perfect. Beautiful hands, very crafty, great one-handed slice. You know, they were a little fortuitous in the fact that making the finals of mixed, Vivian and Thomas Wilson didn't play. So that draw opened up a fair bit. And then in the semis, they played Zane, and Andrea Zane was a little hobbled, apparently, something with his leg. But you know, Pat Smith also had a resurgence.
Yeah.
And again, he was a little fortuitous also. Like, he was in our part of the draw, which also opened up for the men's doubles. But the guy went semis of men's dubs, finals of mixed, and also is, you know, beat the Johns brothers a week or so ago. He's playing so much better.
Yeah.
Looks a lot healthier. Tina's improving at an incredibly rapid rate. And unfortunately for Pat, semis of the doubles, the guy fucking falls backwards, hits his head. I think he trips over Jay's foot, hits his head, and gets a mild concussion. And from that moment forward, definitely wasn't the same. Wasn't seeing the ball as quickly, as early. Was a little dizzy, and apparently has been a little bit dizzy since.
Yeah, said he was losing his vision a little bit too.
Right. So, you know, not.
We keep talking about concussion protocol in pickleball.
Right.
It's wild. But this was real. He slipped and fell back on his head, like backwards onto the court.
Yeah.
Hit his head, so he started to lose his vision a little bit.
Yeah, and it was actually funny. Like, I shouldn't say funny, but Jay actually took the time out for him. Jay could see it. They played like 3 or 4 points. I didn't know what was going on. I saw him fall, but then I saw kind of Pat walking over to the bench, and his eyes were kind of bugging out, and it was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Something's up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, that sucks. Although, we're speaking of him, he just got picked up by the Pioneers for their...
Do you know what the Brandon French injury is?
I think it's his knee.
Yeah.
And he just knows he's going to be out the whole season.
He knows he's out the whole season. It's obviously a very serious injury, so he's not playing. And
that's a great pickup.
I was going to say.
Incredible pickup. Like, that's the interesting thing is, I get a lot of flack for saying that there's like such a huge disparity in the women's game compared to the men's game, but Pat wasn't even drafted in Challenger, and the guy just made finals of the PPA in mixed and semis in the men's doubles. There's zero chance you're going to see a woman that's not drafted in Challenger making finals of the PPA and semis in the other event. That's never, ever, ever happening. At least not right now. So there's a huge contingent of very, very quality men's players that can beat anyone on a given day, and Pat is one of those guys. So, you know, there's a...
In MLP, can you make a trade before Atlanta?
Yes.
I'm saying, even if it's not injury related,
Yes.
you say, hey, I changed my mind.
I don't see why not.
I should know that, or we should know
Yeah,
that.
we should know that. But I actually had that same thought. I don't see why not. If I have a change of heart and another team has a change of heart, we should be able to...
We're not saying that's the case. We're happy with our team. We're just wondering, like, what if suddenly someone that we've never heard of has a blowout weekend the week before
We want 'em.
Yeah.
Atlanta, and we're like, you know what, screw it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we want them. Sure.
not?
We want to grab this person.
I would think so.
Huh, interesting. I think you would see a lot of that if that were the case.
Yep. You might.
Do you think that makes the Pioneers significantly more, like their strength is pretty high
If
right
Pat's playing the way he is right now, 100%.
Sure.
now? Yeah.
But with that said, like, Frenchie played insane last MLP and was one of the best male players. He played great. And he's a high energy guy that thrived on that MLP format, played well. So, you know, that's the beauty of, again, the men's side and MLP in general, is there's so many people that can perform well for a couple matches. And it's who executes and who's playing well at that time.
Yeah.
Good trade. All right. I think that it's time we revisit the topic we had last week. Of course,
Let me give props really quick to Travis. I don't know if you saw it, Luke. He had on CBS Sports and Around the Back.
Yes.
Did you see it?
Oh my God.
I don't know how
what
this is
an
not a
incredible
Sports
shot.
Center top 10.
Yes.
They're like old men.
So casual. Just
Around it, like he almost prepared for it because the way he went to close center, but was so prepared to get one hit behind him and then reset that thing down like towards the kitchen.
And then I hit the worst attack ever that Jay missed. Like literally falling
wanted to
back
give it to
attack
you.
off the bounce.
what was that shot intention? Did you just? Is that what was going through your head
It's
at
just
the time?
instinct. Don't think about it. I mean, definitely trying to think I have to cover middle, but I also have to cover behind me.
Yeah.
That's the only shot that I have.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It was sick.
wild.
That was sick. He wasn't having anyone cheering for him because we're in Utah and he was playing Cali Joe Smith, who's a Utah. So every time they'd score a point, silence. Every time Cali Joe scored a point, the crowd erupted.
Oh, for sure.
So all you heard was like eruption of crowd and then me screaming. Eruption of crowd, me screaming. And when that
but when that happened, I heard a couple. It was like,
But I was like up out of the bench, like
That's
just
so
going.
I saw you. I
insane.
looked over and
Like,
you went
it
ape
was.
shit.
I lost my mind in that shot.
It was so
That was
good.
crazy.
Well, also it was 992. It was a huge
It was
fucking point.
crazy. That was a crazy. If we were anywhere else, the crowd would have gone insane.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it was incredible. When I saw it, I watched it at least 5 times in a row.
Okay, let's clarify the ball thing, Luke.
Yeah, let's do it.
So yeah,
So basically, we made a comment last week that there's a different ball that's played on the pro events, and I agreed. And I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna renege on that comment. I'm gonna say that there's a varying ball, and I don't exactly know why, but undoubtedly we saw tonight, for instance, a ball that is probably a fair bit thicker, is the best way to say it, than a standard Dura. It's a Dura, but it's thicker. I've played with Duras that are light, thin, and then I've played with Duras that are thick and heavy. I don't know why that is. It might be just purely a manufacturing issue.
Yeah.
It might be by chance. I'm going to say on average, I've played with the thicker, heavier Dura more often in PPA events than elsewhere. But this weekend, for instance, the Dura that we played with was a thin, soft Dura in Utah. So I'm not saying it's on purpose, but in tennis, for instance, if you play at altitude, you play with a slightly different ball. Again, not saying it's on purpose, but there clearly is a variation of the ball. And one of the biggest complaints about pickleball is that whether it's the manufacturing process or just the way the ball, alters with play, there's a lot of inconsistency in the ball. And I think that we're seeing that in the Dura. It's totally inconsistent. It comes out sometimes heavier, sometimes thicker, sometimes thinner, sometimes lighter, and fucking who knows. But I'll tell you what, the thick one feels shit ton better than the thin one.
yeah, we got a lot of calls. People started calling me saying why are you making stuff up? You're ruffling. You're just trying to get. And no, it's true. It wasn't at Utah, but we just had someone come up to us and say, "What's this Dura about? Did you bring some of those Duras back?" And I'm like, "They didn't have them at Utah." But then we're watching this court in front of us and say, "That looks like a heavy Dura right there." We call it a heavy Dura. That's what I'm calling it. And he brings it over. We show it to the person who's complaining. Does this ball look heavier to you? Yeah, it does. What is this? We asked the guy where he got it. Denver PPA from the pros division. Yep. Okay. Another coincidence that there was a heavy Dura brought back from Denver PPA, but they did not have them in Utah. I couldn't find them.
This one looks light.
This one's light. This is a light Dura. So it's I think that they know what they're doing. That's me personally. You can say we're not, but I think there's a heavy Dura for the pros. But also what could be happening is at home when we're buying off of Amazon, I'm hearing now there's a lot of knockoff companies that sell off of Amazon that aren't actually Duras. They're just putting the Dura logo on it, which that could be possible too.
Yeah. I think that it's clear to say that seeing those side by side, they are two different balls. The way that those were manufactured.
Well, I'll give you an example. There was a tennis thing a while back with a Wilson U.S. Open ball, and there was a defective batch. Thousands and thousands of balls came out slightly different, and the Challenger Tour, which is essentially the AAA baseball, was using these bad batches, and it actually got so bad. We're like, this doesn't feel anything like the ball we're buying and practicing with. And on the box, one of the boxes that was sitting under the referee's chair, it said bad box, bad batch. It was so I'm not saying it's the same thing because I don't know, but I just know that there are manufacturing issues, and I have played with balls that feel totally fucking different, not purely dependent on the weather. So
and the labeling's different. Here's what else at home you guys can check out. On some of the Duras, it just reads with thick print, Dura Fast 40. On other balls that you might get off of Amazon, it reads the Dura Fast 40, but then there's also an Onyx logo printed below it. So even the labeling is different on these balls. So yeah, I'm not changing what I said when the people are trying to tell me to change what I said. There is a heavy Dura and there is a light Dura. Whether the light Dura is a fake or the heavy Dura is coincidence, it exists. I promise you, you will find them at PPA events, usually in the pro division.
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
So we haven't resold it, but we clarified.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Maybe one day.
I'm standing by it for now.
All right. Looking ahead to Kansas City, what do we want to think about with that? We're hearing that it's going to be incredibly hot.
Hot as balls. I'm supposed to play singles. Legs still a little hobbled, but then I see that Thursday is 105 fucking degrees. 105. And all I think is, nah, that sounds terrible.
Do you have your draw yet?
Yes, I play DJ Young in singles. And if I win, I play Dylan Frazier. In doubles, I haven't looked at the mixed draw yet, but in doubles, AJ and I play Sam Query, which I'm very excited about just because he's fucking hilarious. He and Zach Taylor. And if we win, we get to play Tyson and James. So, maybe I can help AJ get a little revenge there after being up 2-0 and collapsing in the final with Riley. And then, I haven't looked at the mixed draw with Jade yet. But yeah, it should be a great event. I heard at least it's at like a place called Elite Wellness or something. And beautiful venue. Should be a really well-run event.
Outdoor, though.
Outdoor. I'm staying with a host family, which I haven't done since my tennis days, like 12 years ago.
Do you know them?
No fucking clue.
PPA put it up for you?
Yep.
Wow.
And
I thought they stopped doing that ever since the potted plant incident.
I just think they're maybe vetting their people a little bit more.
Well, they didn't do a good job of that. Let's keep working.
I want to disagree with you so badly.
Let's keep working on that vetting system.
I want to disagree so badly, but yes, they did not do a good job of vetting.
What was her name? What's the name of the host that
got pissed on?
Yeah.
It was Becky or Nancy or something? I don't know.
Nancy. I hope you don't get Nancy. I hope you don't get Travis.
That was in, where was that?
Well, whoever this new Nancy is, I hope that
it's not Nancy.
they're
It's
ready.
a guy named Dave. Sounds really nice.
Hide your plants.
Shut the fuck. I'm not pissing on anything. I go in the toilet, and I'm not going to open up the door at 2 a.m. like Numbnuts did and be loud.
Never say never.
100% never. It would never happen.
Oh, my God.
So Travis is playing mixed with Jade Kawamoto.
If I win my first round, I play Catherine and Tyson. So that's kind of cool. Could play both triple crowners. And
who's your first round?
I don't think I've ever lost to Parento and mixed. I think I'm 3-0 against.
Who's your first round?
No idea. Lacey is playing with Preston Baez.
No way.
I swear.
All right. Well, just know that every ball's a winner when Preston's playing. So pretty much be on the lookout for a speed up from anywhere and everywhere.
Yep.
All right. So before we go, everyone's been commenting how incredible these Smash hats are.
They are fucking beautiful.
They're a sight to behold. Everyone's been asking where to buy them. Thanks, Graham.
They have an MLP on them somewhere too, I think, right? Oh, on the back.
So we don't currently have these for sale, right?
We never will.
We'll never will.
They were tough to source.
Oh,
I swear.
Okay, got it. So in actual fact, these are one
Unless
of a
we
kind.
make them, you know how to tie-dye things?
I do actually.
All right.
I just tie-dyed things.
Let's get in the garage this weekend. We're gonna
try and replicate this hat.
You asked me if I know how, not if I would. I know how. I will not though.
We've got a new business for tie-dyeing now.
If you want one of these first generation
limited
edition hats, we are going to give one away. So go to our Instagram, Tennis Sucks Pod. I'm going to post on there after the episode airs with a chance to win. Tag your friend, and we'll pick a winner out before the next pod airs. So yeah, make sure you do that. Make sure you follow us.
Fucking smash. Florida trash, baby.
That's it. That's all we have for today.
Awesome. Thanks, Luke.
Tennis fucking sucks. Hey, notice again, baby, no one behind us playing tennis. Can you please convert these into pickleball courts, please? There's 2 people warming up for pickleball. Thank you. Have a great day. Although Carlos Alcaraz, what a fucking beast. Love the fucking
I watched the highlights of that.
God damn, the guy's a monster, man.
But what about, what's his name?
He's the most fun player I've ever watched.
Really?
Yes.
Even though he lost?
Yes, because watch when he loses. The guy's literally sitting on the sideline. He's crying because it's so overwhelming to him. And then he looks at his coach and he starts laughing. The guy's perspective is outrageous. There's not a hint of ego in him. He actually is genuinely happy for the guy he's playing against. Like, I've never seen anything like it. Never seen anything.
But how good was that pull out by Djokovic?
It's incredible. It's probably the best Masters Series match ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's probably the best match ever.
I was impressed by
for a 2 out of 3 match.
I was impressed by the drop shots. Those
please stop.
Those drop shots are incredible.
Okay, don't do this.
You didn't like those?
Just don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Carlos Alcaraz.
He does have an amazing drop shot.
It's ridiculous.
Yes.
No?
No, he has a beautiful drop
Does
shot.
he just know that the
It's just
Joker
such a weird.
can't-
It's
the
just a
Joker
weird
can't-
comment.
that the Joker can't get to him? Is that why he's like, this guy's old? I'm going to drop
The guy's
shot.
the fastest motherfucker there is.
Who is?
Takes Joker.
Oh, he
I mean,
is?
yes.
And how does he? That's
He's an
incredible.
incredible mover.
It's just there was one where he like reached.
Did you see this? What am I doing?
He
What is
reached
happening?
so hard and hit this nasty slight drop.
Dude, I'm just starting to like watching tennis again. Please don't ruin it.
You're right. I'm gonna stop watching.
Please. No, you can watch. Just let's limit commentary. Just say, yeah, he's awesome.
Holy drop shot.
You're the color commentator. That's it. Like, I'll say what happened, and you're like, he's looking great out here.
All right, I'm wrong. Those drop
No, you're
shots
not
weren't great.
wrong. You're wonderful.
Oh, okay.
You're just, it's just,
One after another.
oh my God. Okay. Okay. Chick Hearn or whatever the fuck your name is. It's time to go. Tennis
All right,
sucks. See
tennis
you later.
sucks.